Have you ever woken up in the quiet hours of the night only to find your cat sleeping directly on your chest, wedged tightly against your side, or even burrowed deep under your blankets? For years, people have brushed this off saying, "Oh, cats just like warm spots." But if you've loved a cat for any amount of time, you know their actions are never that simple. When your cat chooses to close their eyes and fall into a vulnerable sleep right next to you, they are speaking a silent emotional language. Today we are translating that language. And please pay close attention as we unravel the mystery later on, because just like a perfectly orchestrated game of musical chairs, the exact spot your cat claims when the weather turns cold reveals a hidden hierarchy of love and protection you probably never knew existed. Let's look beyond the purrs and uncover the ultimate display of feline trust, starting with those adorable blanket burrowers. Reason number 1. The blanket burrowers and the ultimate trust. Many of you have asked us a very specific, endearing question. What does it mean when my sweet girl insists on sleeping completely under the covers with me? To truly understand this, we have to look at feline biology. A cat's normal core body temperature runs quite a bit higher than ours, usually between 99 and 102.5 degrees Fahrenheit. Because of this, their ideal comfort zone, what scientists call their thermoneutral zone, is between 86 and 101 degrees Fahrenheit. Since most of us keep our homes much cooler than that, your bed with all its soft layers becomes the perfect insulated sanctuary. But it is so much more than just seeking thermal warmth. Think about the context. In the wild, sleep is the absolute most vulnerable state for any animal. When your cat willingly slides under the heavy sheets, burying herself where she can't see or hear her surroundings clearly, or when she sleeps completely belly up beside you, she is making a profound choice. She is entirely surrendering her environmental awareness. She does this because she knows without a shadow of a doubt that you are her ultimate safe space and that you will protect her while she rests. But what happens when the roles are reversed and your sweet companion decides that it is her turn to stand watch against the unseen shadows of the night? Reason number 2. The nighttime guardian. Cats possess an intuition that often defies logical explanation, and their devotion is fiercely reciprocal. We have read so many incredible, deeply personal stories from this community about felines stepping into the role of nighttime protectors. Several of you have shared that your cat presses firmly against your chest or side during severe nightmares or even terrifying episodes of sleep paralysis. This behavior is not a mere coincidence. Your feline companion is exquisitely attuned to the rhythm of your breathing, the pace of your heartbeat, and even the subtle chemical shifts your body undergoes when you are distressed. When they sense that your sleep is troubled, they use their physical presence, the grounding, reassuring weight of their body against yours, to anchor you back to safety. They aren't just dozing off, they are actively standing watch over you. If you have ever felt like your cat is guarding you from negative energy in the dark, please know you are not imagining things. They are meticulously monitoring the environment so you can rest peacefully without worry. But what if their comforting presence goes beyond just standing guard at the edge of your dreams? What if they actually possess a built-in vibrating mechanism specifically designed to mend your broken pieces when you are at your absolute weakest? Reason number 3. The healer's purr. The bond we share with our cats becomes most visible when we are at our absolute weakest. So many of you have opened your hearts and shared deeply moving stories about how your cat's behavior changed entirely when you fell ill. Whether you were recovering from back surgery, undergoing cancer treatments, or grieving the devastating loss of a spouse, your cats just knew. When you are broken, either physically or emotionally, a bonded cat will often refuse to leave your side. They will sleep directly on your chest or next to your head, offering a very specific, quiet kind of therapy. You see, a cat's purr vibrates at a frequency between 25 and 150 Hertz. Science tells us that this is the exact frequency at which human muscles and bones repair themselves. When your cat lies on your chest and rumbles after you've had a traumatic or painful day, they are literally administering physical and emotional medicine. They are trying to heal you with their own body. Now, while we often picture a sweet motherly feline offering this kind of gentle care, what if I told you that the absolute biggest misconception about feline affection involves a competitive game of musical chairs and a deeply misunderstood stereotype about who really rules your house? Reason number 4. The gender myth and feline musical chairs. There is a lingering misconception that only female cats possess this deep motherly instinct to nurture and protect us. Many of you proudly stepped into the comments to correct this, asking, "Is it just the girls? Because my tomcat does all of these exact same things." And you are absolutely right. When it comes to profound loyalty and nighttime snuggles, gender makes zero difference. Male cats bond just as fiercely. It is entirely about the unique soul of the animal and the trust you have built together. Speaking of quirky group dynamics, one of our viewers asked a truly hilarious question. Why do my 12 cats constantly play a game of musical chairs in the kitchen the second it gets cold outside? This is actually a brilliant, peaceful display of feline hierarchy. Remember that high core body temperature we talked about earlier. Cats instinctively seek elevated, insulated spots to preserve their heat. When they quietly rotate chairs, they are engaging in a non-aggressive way of time sharing the warmest, most coveted real estate in your home. It's the sign of a beautifully socialized family where everyone knows how to share. But what happens when that peaceful domestic harmony shatters at 3 a.m.? If your sleep is abruptly interrupted by the sound of your favorite belongings crashing to the floor, you might think you harbor a tiny furry vandal. But what if that late-night destruction is actually a highly calculated, desperate plea for your attention? Reason number 5. Decoding nighttime nuisances. Now, let's address the elephant in the room. What about those cats who aren't exactly peaceful sleepers? One of our community members asked a very relatable question. When my cat jumps on my dresser and purposely knocks everything onto the floor while I am sleeping, what is she trying to tell me? While it is incredibly tempting to think you are harboring a tiny furry vandal, this is actually a highly intelligent learned behavior. Cats are brilliant students of cause and effect. Your sweet girl has simply realized that a soft meow might not wake you, but the sound of your water glass hitting the hardwood guarantees an immediate physical reaction from you. They usually do this because a crucial need isn't being met. Perhaps they are hungry, bored, or their litter box needs a quick scoop. They know exactly which buttons to push to get you out of bed. But what if a cat's ability to connect has nothing to do with what they can see or hear? Imagine a love so profound that it bridges the gap of total silence or complete darkness. How do these extraordinary sensory-deprived souls navigate the world to find their ultimate safe haven? Reason number 6. The unseen bond of special needs cats. We must also talk about some of the most inspiring felines out there. Several of you asked a beautiful question. How do blind or deaf cats behave and bond at night? If you have ever been blessed to share your home with a special needs pet, you know their capacity for love is absolutely extraordinary. A deaf cat, for instance, cannot hear your comforting voice, so they rely heavily on physical touch and vibrations. They might insist on sleeping tightly against your chest or neck so they can feel the soothing rhythm of your breathing. A blind cat, on the other hand, relies intensely on scent and routine. They will often memorize the exact layout of your bed and seek out your specific scent, sleeping right by your pillow or burying their tiny face in your hands. Their physical limitations do not diminish their love. It actually intensifies the profound ways they show their absolute trust in you. But as the seasons of our lives inevitably turn, there comes a quiet twilight hour when the roles of caretaker and protector merge into one final profound act. How do you translate the silent language of a fading shadow when the time comes to give them the greatest yet most heartbreaking gift of all? Reason number 7. The final gift of saying goodbye. Finally, we must gently touch upon the hardest chapter of loving a companion. One of you shared a heartbreaking reality. My cat is almost 20. I don't know how to say goodbye. As our furry guardians enter their twilight years, their sleep habits often shift drastically. You might notice them howling in the dark or seeming slightly lost. Veterinarians recognize these as signs of cognitive aging, including altered sleep-wake cycles and disorientation. If your elderly friend suddenly becomes incredibly clingy at night, it is because their mind is fading, and your familiar presence is their only anchor. Saying goodbye is the heavy price we pay for decades of pure devotion. In their final moments, your steady heartbeat is the only comfort they need. But before the screen fades to black, there is one final invisible thread that binds our souls to theirs. A quiet echo that remains long after the purring stops. How do we actually honor that beautiful echo tonight? Our cats are never just pets. They are our soulmates, our fierce guardians, and our chosen family. They notice when our hearts are heavy, using their quiet, healing presence to help put the pieces back together. Now I want to hear from you. Please go to the comments right now and tell me your sweet cat's name. What is their absolute favorite, weirdest sleeping position? And if you have any strange feline behaviors you want me to decode in our next video, drop them down below. I read every single one. Thank you for loving your cat so deeply. See you next time.